What's up everyone? In this video, I'm going to show how you can use Excel's flash fill feature to automatically enter data based on the pattern of an adjacent cell. I have 5 worksheets containing different scenarios that you can use flash fill for. This is a feature that came out in Excel 2013, and what flash fill does is that it looks at the cell where you're entering the data and then checks to see what the pattern is in the adjacent columns. Let me show you how this works when we want to split a full name into first and last name based on the split names worksheet. The first thing we need to do is to establish the pattern. In cell B2, I'm going to type out the first name of John and the last name of Doe, and based on what I typed out, Excel will be able to identify that the first name and last name is separated by a space based on the adjacent cell A2. Before using flash fill, we want to make sure that we select the cell right below the data that we entered in before. So in this case, if we want to flash fill column B, we want to select cell B3. Now, there are a couple of ways you can use flash fill without and with the keyboard shortcuts. Let me show how you can use flash fill without the keyboard shortcuts. In the home tab, I'm going to go to the editing group. And in the editing group, I'm going to hover my mouse to this button. When you do, it's going to pop out fill. And if I click on it, we get a lot of options here. The main one we want to look at is flash fill. You can just click on this and the data gets automatically populated to the very last row where there's adjacent data to it. The same logic for Doe, or the last name. Go to this button, click on flash fill, and we get the last names now. Now let me show you how you can do it with keyboard shortcuts. I'm gonna undo this, Control Z, Control Z. It's very easy to use the keyboard shortcuts. Same logic as before, select the cell below the entered data, and then just do Control E. We get a list of names. Same thing here, Control E, and the last names are here now. One of the downsides to flash fill is that you can't use it on multiple columns at once. I'm gonna undo everything again. Now, if I try to select 2 columns at once, like this, and I try to do Control E, nothing happens. If I select only these 2 cells and do Control E, nothing happens. If I go back to doing it without keyboard shortcuts, and click on this, we don't have access to the flash fill button anymore. That's because flash fill only works on one column at a time. Let me show you another example where you need to get the different initials for each full name in column A. In cell B2, I'm going to type out JD and then enter. And then this cell, I'm going to do Control E and we get the different initials. What if instead of the initials, we wanted to get the first 2 letters of the first name and the first 2 letters of the last name? In cell B2, I can update this cell to include J, O, D, O, press enter, and we get everything updated as a result dynamically. But you'll notice that this isn't correct, as this should be SACO instead of SOCO. Well, what we can do next is that we can update the flash fill pattern by updating the next cell after it. So for this cell, I can say SACO and then press enter, and everything else gets updated based on the most recent pattern. This time, all the values are correct. You might have to work with a lot of phone number formatting. In this case, I want to put a dash in the appropriate section. So in cell B2, I'm going to type out 123-456-7890. Enter, then Control E, and we get the dashes in the same spot for other phone numbers. What if we want to include a parenthesis in the first 3 digits instead, with no dashes, but only spaces? I can put a parenthesis here, and the close parentheses, delete the dash with a space, press enter, and our values get updated. If you want to combine parentheses and dash, you can do that too. We'll keep the parentheses here, but we'll leave this as a dash. This one will be a dash too. There's more you can do with flash fill other than just parentheses and dashes, as long as the pattern matches. Our next example involves extracting invoice data. In column A, we have a mix of letters and numbers where we want to get the numbers only. In cell B2, I could just simply type out 1234, which represents the number in cell A2, enter, and then Control E, and Excel automatically detects each number from the cell and gets the appropriate number for us. For this last example, we want to format the invoice number in addition to extracting it. Let's focus on extracting the data that starts with a number and everything to the right of it. We also want to concatenate capital INV dash right before each extracted data. In cell B2, I'm going to start off by typing out INV dash in all capital, then 12345, which is the actual invoice we want. Press enter. In cell B3, press Control E, and we get a mostly correct answer for each of these. You'll notice that this starts with all capital invoice instead of INV, even though we got the correct invoice number. And this one doesn't even start off with an INV. So let's fix this up by changing cell B3 to capital INV, then dash, then 6789. Press enter, and the rest of the answers change to the correct one, except for this one, and this is an easy fix as well. We can just replace this with INV dash 98765 one more time so that there's more patterns to recognize, and then press enter. And now everything looks good. That's pretty much it on some examples you can use flash fill for, and how this feature can be useful. If you found this video to be helpful, then please like and comment down below what else you'd want to see. And if you haven't already, subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram and LinkedIn to get notified the next time I upload a video. Until then, I'll see you guys again next time.